Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Dawn of the Apes as we're getting ready for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, so let's talk about it. So with this movie, it's following up to the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, so a direct sequel to the movie, a movie that was absolutely incredible. So if you haven't seen that retrospective review, you can go check that out, it's on the channel. We're doing these retrospective reviews of the movies in the build up to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now granted, the earlier movies from like the 60s and 70s, I just haven't had the time to be able to like record all of those reviews in time for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So this week is just going to be the Matt Reeves trilogy in build up to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But there's going to be a tier ranking video on the weekend with all the Planet of the Apes movies, including the older ones. So keep an eye out on the channel, subscribe so you're not missing out on that. And also, if you have seen the movie Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below, because with this one, it's the first one that Matt Reeves directed, because I mentioned in the previous video, Rise of the Planet of the Apes was directed by a different director, but equally an amazing job they did. So with this one, it's Matt Reeves' first one, and an amazing direction he went with this movie, because the opening of this movie starts off with sort of like a video package that honestly reminded me of COVID's pandemic situation, where you see the human race, the simian flu that occurred because of what happened in the first movie. It has spread like wildfire, people are getting killed off, things are being shut down, so it's just pandemonium with this, basically predicting what COVID was. And so then you start seeing Caesar and what's going on with him. So this is taking place a couple of years after the situation with Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So you see Caesar, he's got a son now, and you just see like what these apes have built, their living situation, they're going hunting right now. So you're just seeing a variety of different things that in terms of like what the apes have built over time. And while they're out hunting, they run into like a human character who's being played by Kirk Acevedo. Apologies if I butchered that name, but he's actually Ricardo Diaz in the Arrow show, so that's where I recognize him from. But he sees these apes, he freaks out and he shoots one of them, and that's when the apes arrive, the rest of the humans arrive. So you've got like this standoff sequence between them, and that's where you've got Caesar yelling to them to leave, which freaks the humans out, and they end up going back to their sanctuary where they were living. But the reason that they were in the forest, the reason that they were in the woods, is because we come to find out that they actually need to go to the dam to try and get the water running so that they can start getting power and electricity to start contacting the rest of the world, the rest of the planet, to try and get back to normalization. And you get this great shot of like what's happened to San Francisco, what's happened to the city. It honestly looks like Last of Us in terms of like how the trees and the forests have taken over different buildings. It just looks absolutely fantastic. So think of Last of Us and live action version or the video game version, and that's exactly how the city looks, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. But as they're heading back, you actually see Koba and some other apes follow the humans to see what's going on, where they're living and what they're planning as well. And so then the apes start having this debate of what to do, what are they going to do, because now they've interacted with the humans. So Caesar decided, instead of going out all out war, because that's just going to end in a shit show, he and all the apes go to the humans. Again, amazing shots of Caesar and these apes on horses walking towards a human. They confront the humans, telling them that they don't want a war. They'll fight if they have to, but they don't want to start an all-out war. Basically showing how they've gotten intelligent, how they're speaking. The humans are seeing these apes talk and are just in shell shock. So you're seeing that sequence there, and then you get now the humans having these debates of what they're gonna do, how they're gonna try and fix this because they need the dam. So you basically got the apes having debates, the humans having debates in this movie. Basically, I would say the two main characters in the movies, you've got Gary Oldman, who's being played by Dreyfus, you've got Jason Clarke, who's being played by Malcolm in the movie. So what they did is they come up with an ultimatum, is that like Malcolm's character is going to take a couple of humans to go and actually speak to Caesar to let them know why they were in the forest. So Malcolm takes his son, his girlfriend, I think it was, Carver, who's the one that shot the ape from the very first place, and a couple of other characters to go and actually talk to Caesar. And that's where he explains to Caesar why they need a dam and if they can just try and fix it. So Caesar actually allows them to go and fix a dam so that they can try and get electricity, which pisses off Koba, because Koba doesn't trust the humans, of course, after what happened in the very first movie. So he takes a couple of apes to go back to the humans. They actually see the armory, the amount of weapons that these humans have, which he's not happy about. He actually gets caught and starts playing dumb with these soldiers, pretending that he's like this dumb ape monkeying around basically, so that he's able to just walk away and not get harmed. While meanwhile you've got Caesar watching these humans building and working on trying to fix the dam. There was one point where something collapses, keeping some of the humans stuck, so the apes actually end up helping. So you see a bit of camaraderie with the humans and the apes working together. You see that sprinkled throughout the movie, and you get this sequence of Caesar's son, like not his older son but his youngest son who's a baby, interacting with the girl and the son, sharing like this nice little moment, until of course Koba ends up ruining it, because the baby ends up going and sneaking into his stuff, finding a gun, which pisses off Koba, and that's when Caesar gets pissed off because he didn't want any guns in while they were fixing the dam. So he's basically pissed off, telling all the humans to leave. Only that's when Malcolm tries to reason with Caesar, only to see that Caesar's wife is actually sick. So him and his girlfriend offer to try and fix her, offer to give her medicine, trying to keep the peace between the humans and the apes. When Koba comes back, he actually sees Caesar helping these humans, working on this dam, which pisses off Koba. He claims that Caesar loves the humans more than he loves apes, which pisses off Caesar. So they end up fighting, only for Caesar to realize that he shouldn't be fighting with these apes. That pisses off Koba even more. He ends up going back to the humans, playing dumb with the same security guards, and ends up just killing them afterwards by pretending to like drink with them, taking the gun and just shooting both of them. And him and the other apes end up going back. They end up killing Carver, and while the humans and the apes are celebrating together with Caesar's wife healed now and the dam is basically being fixed, there's a moment of celebration until Koba actually goes and shoots Caesar, thinking that he's killed him, pretending that it was actually a human, burning up the living sanctuary that all these apes are, claiming that it was all the humans. The humans are the ones that shot Caesar and have burned their house down, so he can incite a war between the humans and the apes. And that's where you get one of the great shots in this movie. So you've got Koba leading all these apes towards the humans start shooting, so you get this shootout between the humans and the apes getting gunned down, the humans getting blown up. There's just explosions everywhere, bullets flying around. You get this great shot of Koba on a horse with 2 guns, just looking completely badass. And then there's even a moment where you've got this tank being involved, and so Koba jumps on this tank, kills off the humans, and then you just got this camera side of Koba on this tank, spinning around this tank. So it's just a great cinematography, great shots of this. Koba really looking amazing in this whole sequence with the humans and the apes shooting at one another. As the apes infiltrate the base, they infiltrate the humans, they start capturing the humans. Koba even at one point is getting one of the apes to kill off the humans, but when he refuses, he actually grabs him, drags him and throws him off the building, killing off another ape. And then meanwhile, while that's all going on, Malcolm, the son, and his girlfriend, actually they end up escaping from the forest. When the whole shit show happened, they find Caesar, who's still alive. They go take him back to his old house where James Franco's house was, trying to patch him up. Malcolm starts sneaking around, going back to like the human base so that he can get medicine, when he runs into Caesar's son. But just before that, you get this sequence of like Malcolm trying to sneak around, something from like a video game where you just see background of the apes crashing things flying around. So Matt Reeves did a fantastic job in terms of like how everything looks in the movie. Looks absolutely incredible with the shots of the background situation that's going on. But Malcolm ends up running into Caesar's son. He tells Caesar's son that his dad is still alive, so he takes them back, and that's when Caesar tells him it was actually Koba that shot him rather than the actual humans. So with all of Caesar's loyal troops handcuffed to a school bus, the humans also just caged up, Caesar's son actually ends up going and releasing all of Caesar's friends, and the humans end up all escaping. They all go back to Caesar so that they can actually see that he's alive. He goes and tells them that they need to go underground with Malcolm so that they try to find Koba and just stop this madness. So as Caesar and the rest of the apes go and confront Koba, you see Malcolm finding Gary Oldman's character and another character. We see that they've got C4 planted all around the tower. They're going to blow up the whole tower, killing off all the apes. So Malcolm's actually trying to stop this. Meanwhile, you've got Caesar confronting Koba. You've got this amazing shot. Like, in terms of the visual effects of this movie too, it looks so real and so incredible. Not like nowadays when some movies just look really bad with the visual effects. I'm looking at you, Thor, Love and Thunder. But you get this great fight sequence between the two of them, like Koba versus Caesar, and Koba really shines in terms of how he looks, how he's fighting. They're beating each other up. Gary Oldman's character ends up actually blowing the whole tower, so you've got the tower being blown up, apes are flying everywhere. Koba and both Caesar fall onto a certain part of the tower where Koba actually finds a gun. He starts shooting other apes, but then Caesar jumps on him. That causes Koba to like actually hold on to one of those like rod thingies as part of the tower, and Caesar pushes Koba into his death, killing off Koba. And then that's when he runs into Malcolm, who basically explains to him that Gary Oldman's character actually managed to contact like the military, so the military are all going to be coming soon to basically round all the apes, killing off all the apes. So just all-out war is coming, and Caesar basically accepts this. He's not going to be running away, he's not going to be hiding, so they're going to be getting ready for the war as he reunites with the rest of his family, setting up for the final movie in the trilogy, The War of the Planet of the Apes. But with this movie, honestly, Andy Serkis did a fantastic job with Caesar, but you have to give a huge standout credit to Koba, who was actually being played by Toby Kebbell, and he really shined through. Like, Koba probably is a standout in this movie over Caesar, because Caesar does a fantastic job, like I said, but Koba has so much memorable scenes, so much memorable action in this movie, and I just was all on board for it. This movie definitely was incredible. If I'm comparing it, I'll be honest, I prefer Rise over Dawn just slightly. Like, if I was grading it, I would probably give Rise of the Planet of the Apes a 9 out of 10, and I'd give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes an 8.5 out of 10. That's how close it is, because both are fantastic movies. This one really set up an amazing thing. Granted, there's some slow sequences in the middle of the movie as they're setting up everything, but the way it was executed, and just that shot again of Koba with the horse and 2 guns, with him on the tank, the fight sequence between him and Caesar. So there's just so many memorable things from this movie that I really enjoyed. And of course, that setup, especially if you've seen the third movie, really pays off well. So if you've seen the movie, please let me know your thoughts again in the comment section down below. And again, keep an eye out, because we're going to be doing the final movie of the trilogy, The War of the Planet of the Apes. That's going to be coming out most likely tomorrow, so definitely subscribe so you're not missing out on that. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is OldmanKeri Reviews. Peace.